tasks a runner might have. Filling coolers, doing coffee runs, driving talent. Are you even fucking close?
I'm like 3/4 of the way.
So no.
You dominated me on that one. Domination. This is where we celebrate the unsung heroes, the champions behind the screens who make the magic happen. Every other week, we kick back, grab a beer, and sit down with some of the most distinguished professionals in the industry, giving you a new appreciation for the media you enjoy. This is the Behind the Broadcast podcast. What is up, BTV crew and broadcast enthusiasts? My name is Parker Rattan, and I'm the founder and owner of Behind the Broadcast. Now, when I created this platform, I always wanted to show the behind the scenes of broadcasting, but now we're diving a little bit deeper. We're telling the stories of the professionals that work in the industry. But before I get into it, I want to thank our sponsors. So all of the graphics you see are powered by VizRT. VizRT, take your production to the next level with the right tools. Thank you, TVU. TVU, elevate every stage of your media supply chain. Holly Video, specializing in remote solutions for live stream kits. And last but not least, Garage Beer. Garage Beer, it's beer, flavored beer. I said not last but not least, but I can't forget my guy, Steve Roth, SteveRothLighting.com. Thank you for providing the lights here in Silicon Valley where we are doing this podcast. Without further ado, let me get into our guest. He's been in the industry for 20 years. He's a 3-time Emmy Award winner. He's worked Super Bowls. 4-time. I need to update this. We'll get into that in a second. He's a 4-time Emmy Award winner. He's worked Super Bowls, U.S. Opens, and he's a lead camera operator on Monday Night Countdown studio show. He's a massive, massive Michigan sports fan. Chris O'Dowd, or as I call him, COD. What's up, COD? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
So I said 3, but really it's 4 because when I wrote this, we did this show a year ago.
Correct.
Now tell me, what do you think of the difference between a year from then and now, how the show's gone? What do you see the difference is? Is there some progression in this?
Our show?
Right? No, what we're doing right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact, yes. Yeah, we've got actual microphones. I hope your batteries last this time and we can actually finish it.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And Steve Roth's lights.
Yeah, Steve Roth's lights. That is a consistency there. Yeah, so COD is a great supporter of mine, great coworker of mine, and so when I thought about creating this podcast, it was over a year ago now, and COD was episode number 2 to do help me get it rolling, and there were a lot of issues during it. I'll tell you that. A lot of issues, but no bigger issue than all the audio that was recorded on these Rode lavaliers were stolen, or my Rode lavaliers were stolen.
Oh, I thought you meant you stole them.
No, so let me rephrase that. They always tell you don't check your gear in your bag, and I was very naive about this. And what I do, I checked my camera gear and my audio gear in my suitcase when I was flying to Florida one time. I got home, or I got to the hotel, opened my bag, and my whole camera bag was gone. Now, I took the video files that we shot off my camera and I uploaded them, but the audio files stayed on those lavalier headphones, or lavaliers mics. And so when my camera bag went, so did the audio of our last show.
Which might not necessarily be a bad thing.
It's definitely probably not a bad thing because it's already starting off way better than before.
Do you know the one thing that I do not check ever, that I always keep in my backpack, not even if I carry on, is rain gear.
Oh, rain gear, yeah, because you never know when you're going to get...
Never know.
That's a good point, and I just did that actually for the first time this last week, knowing I was going to be in San Francisco, and I was like, I want my rain gear in my backpack.
Well, I told you about my millionth mile flight Friday, right?
Go ahead, brag about it.
Did I tell you what happened? Tell you what happened.
No, go ahead.
It wasn't all great.
Oh, you kind of, you can, yeah.
So I had my millionth mile flight with United and get to the airport and my suitcase didn't make it
Oh,
that flight. So I had the option to roll the dice if they'll get it to the hotel that night, which they said probably not. So I sat at the airport for 3 hours waiting for my bag.
hey, what a better way to spend your millionth mile?
Shout out to United.
Not a sponsor, not a sponsor. So I alluded that you're a huge Michigan fan, man. Last year the Lions were trying to make the playoffs. This year, it's looking good.
Yes. I am in like disbelief when your team's been that bad for so long. Like it's crazy. And it's weird that tomorrow's game, which I don't know when this is going to air, but tomorrow's night's game against the Niners doesn't even matter for us.
Yeah. So kind of what COD's referring to, we are in San Francisco right now, Silicon Valley, working Monday Night Football for the 49ers game. And it's 49ers versus the Lions. And this was supposed to be a huge matchup when you looked at the schedule in the beginning of the season. And it's a flounder.
I mean, the Niners are just as banged up as we are. I feel like, but theirs is more offensive and ours is all defensive. But like,
it means nothing though.
It does.
Playoff implications.
I mean, to tell that to Dan Campbell, but because he's gonna keep his foot on the gas tomorrow, I'll bet you for sure. But it doesn't
every down. Jared Goff is probably gonna run a time or two.
No, no, that's definitely not happening. But it's weird that like tomorrow night's game doesn't mean anything because if we beat the Vikings next week, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a behind the broadcast podcast, not a sports podcast. So that's about all the sports we're going to talk.
Appreciate the Detroit love.
I don't even know where we are in the country. I just know we're working a show.
Andrea asked me last night, where are we? And I'm like, at the Tetra. And she's like, no, what state are we in?
Yeah, it'd be like that. Andrea gets it. So, man, you've had a very successful career, what I would consider a successful career. You're doing camera at all these different events around the country for ESPN and other networks. But bring me back to kind of where it started.
So for me, where it started for me was like, we were on spring break when I went to college for a little bit. This kid, that we went with had he had a camcorder and like, he just let me, I shot the whole vacation. I loved it. Like I couldn't. And then we got back to Western Michigan, after spring break or whatever. And we were throwing a party and, one of the girls that was on spring break with us, she walked up, she's like, oh, I didn't recognize you. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, cause I can see both your eyes. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, cause you had that camera up to your face the entire time we were on vacation.
Passion.
Yeah, or poor kid with rich toys. Like I don't know. But then it was I started going to college and I didn't really know what I was going for, and then I figured out I kind of wanted to do the camera thing, and Western Michigan didn't have anything, and I asked my now wife like I want to move to California to do this, which ultimately wasn't necessary, but I thought it was.
I mean, big step. I mean, it's always good to put yourself in a position where there's more opportunities, right?
Right. And so I did that, and I went to a production school out there. Like it was like a trade school kind of for like you're learning, editing and writing, and all that stuff.
Right.
And one day this guy comes into the class looking for someone to go shoot USC basketball games under the basket, like for experience, like for no money. And so I was driving, if I wasn't bartending that night, I was driving an hour up to LA from Orange County to just get experience.
Yeah.
And then ultimately the teacher told me, he was like, if you know somebody in this industry, that's the best way to get in.
That 100% is it, and that still is true to today.
Story, yeah. So it was so long ago, I MySpace messaged a guy I went to high school with.
MySpace.
MySpace.
That's awesome. What's his name? Tom?
No, Stan Fracker. No, not Tom
Stan Fracker.
Fracker. And he sent me contact information to just a local crewer, and I got put on the NBA finals. But it was in Michigan, so I was like, and it was for one day.
Finals were in Michigan?
It was Detroit.
Detroit? This is what.
It was Detroit.
Is this Ben Wallace?
It's been 20 years. No, before that.
Dang.
No, it was the Ben Wallace years. No, so it was. So I flew back as like to be a PA.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what you gotta do, man. You take whatever jobs you can get, PA, whatever.
So my day rate was less than what like my flight was, and then so it was. I take it back. It was Eastern Conference Finals, and then when I was at the conference finals, I asked the crewer if the Pistons make the finals, can I come back? I'll change my flight, and they did. They went down and beat Shaq and Miami and Dwayne Wade. Like they were down 3-2. They had to go to they had to win at home and then go to Miami to win Game 7.
Oh shoot.
When the finals came back, that's when I got like all the ABC and ESPN contacts, because like that was back in the business card.
Yeah, totally.
And then it snowballed.
Well, just pause right there, because you made a really good point in that the fact that you were now in this circle, this ABC ESPN circle you found yourself in, and you made the best of it. You met people, you made good impressions on people, you passed out your information to people, and clearly it worked out. So kudos to you on that, because that is a huge part of just breaking into this industry. It's just like meeting people and being cool with people and being very regular and normal and wanting to learn and grow. So good on you. So sorry, before I interrupted. So after finals, kind of where'd that go? Where'd those contacts take you?
So then it was weird. Got back to California, and months went by, and now like I kind of realized, like, and too, like once NBA and now NHL are done, ESPN's pretty slow in the summer unless you do baseball.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anything for months, and like this is back when we were living check to check, and my wife's school did this thing. We wouldn't go to Vegas, but living in California, we would take like a bus to like the border, okay, and then they go gamble. And like, and so like we're living check to check. I lost I lost $100 at the blackjack table, like before my free Coors Light got there. And my wife was pissed, and like rightfully so. And I'm like, well, now I'm done gambling, and we're stuck here for 6 more hours. Well, then I get a phone call, and I step outside, and it was Allison Brown, and she's like, hey, I got your information from a person I met at the NBA finals, and she's like, would you be interested in working 30 days at the Summer X Games?
Big time.
Huge.
30 days.
So I was a PA, I was a runner, yeah, up until the event started. Then it was my first time being a utility.
Dude, that's how it happens, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm so similar in the fact that like I had a tennis connection, and who was Jolene.
So Allison is her mom. Swear to God.
No way.
Yeah. Swear to God. So that her mom is the one that called me for Summer X. Swear to God.
That's insane. I had no idea that her mom was in the industry.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a full circle moment.
Yeah.
So Jolene kind of gave me a shot and said, I was living in California as well, and he gave me a shot and said, hey, do you want to come out to the U.S. Open for 30 days or whatever it was about 30 days. And I was like, 30 days of work, of course, so I made it work, and I had to put myself up, and I traveled myself in and all that stuff. But man, what that 30 days did for me, I came in as a runner like you, and I came out as a utility.
Right. Right.
And just from there, it was like contact after like proving myself after show after show after show. And next thing I knew, I was.
So Swartzy.
Yeah.
So when I worked when I worked that show with him as a PA runner, whatever, he first guy to ever take me to a bar after a show day or set day or whatever, and he's like, come on, he's like, we're going to the bar. So we go to the bar and we walk into the bar and I still have my credential on. And he's like, he goes, take that fucking thing off. And I was like, why? And he was like, because people are going to see what you do for a living. They're going to want to talk to you.
So good.
But that week he had told me, he was like, he asked for my contact information and he's like, I'm going to get you a lot more work. And I was like, I'll take all the runner work you can get. And he was like, no, he's like, I'm getting you utility work. And that was like, that was my first network show. You know what I mean? So, you know, Greg Swartz is fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, you know, you get that contact and the next thing you know, you're working NASCAR.
Yeah.
And allegedly,
oh boy,
very first ever V3. You and a couple others, Hunter.
Correct. Yeah, Hunter, Troy, Joe Kuzma, Sergio, Mario, like Joel Cook.
Yeah, Joel. Yeah,
Cook. Yeah. Yeah, they had to. That was the one show you couldn't hire local utilities to do what we did because it was so much work.
I mean, NASCAR in the 2000 or early 2000s, like those were massive shows for ESPN.
They were as big as the Super Bowl, and we traveled it every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Troy had to go. We had this big plan to go talk to one of the bosses because like we were sharing rooms, we weren't getting per diem. Like I think we traveled ourselves the first year, and we finally were like. We had the balls like, dude, we got like, we're tired of sharing rooms. Like, where's our per diem? And we went to, you know, the higher ups and we had this good cop, bad cop thing planned out, me and Troy. Do you know Troy?
A little bit. I've worked with Troy one time.
He's great. Yeah, really cool guy. I was like, all right, I'm going to start with this. And then you're going to, you know, we're going to back and forth this thing. And I started going and Troy never jumped in. And so I just belted out like the whole thing him and I had discussed. And I was like, dude, why didn't you jump in? He's like, you were fucking killing it. He's like, I just figured I didn't have to. And we got it. Like we were the first, we were the first traveled V3s. Yes. Traveled utilities, and then they had to, they had to justify the travel because they never traveled utilities before. So to justify it, they renamed us V3s instead of utilities.
Right.
So you're welcome.
Thank you. Hey, you walked so I could run.
And now you run so I can walk.
Very true. Very true. Oh, that's awesome. So Jeff Svenby was on the NASCAR with you, and he's on our show as well, on our Monday night show that we're working right now. And Gordon. Gordon is our lead, and Gordon was your lead back in the day as well. But I was talking to Jeff the other night, and he mentioned a coax ladder. Can you just explain what a coax ladder is? I think I have a picture. I'm going to put it in post.
So he's talking about patching the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah. They becoming a utility in a V3 on that show, like, I mean, I should have been a video guy. And I mean, no, I'd rather not, but like we worked with the best guys. I mean, Stevie Gahn, Mike Callahan, Ray Solis, Svenby, Stevie Ray. Looking back on it, they pushed a lot of work that they were supposed to be doing onto us, but we learned so much. So yeah, and so there was only 3 of us that were allowed to patch each truck. Like Hunter had the A unit, I think Troy had the B, I had the C, whatever, because we knew, they taught us how you hang the rope perfectly and you put it in there, and it was fucking beautiful. One of the EICs for our E unit, because we had to do the power cables in between like 4 or 5 trucks as well, and these are NASCAR places,
right?
Not a lot of pavement. So we're a lot of gravel. The way we would run, not just the power, but the malts, the coax malts, and everything, like audio. Jason Blood, if you ever fucking see this, he's like, COD, it's not a fucking.
Oh, J Blood, audio, J Blood.
Yeah. COD is not a fucking art contest. I'm like, go fucking tell video that it's not an art contest, because apparently it is. one of the guys took a photo of our, like the way we had 90 the power cables in gravel. I mean, it looked like I always compare it to like, it looks like a fucking Play-Doh machine spit the thing out. And so he goes, every show I go to and people are on this truck, I have the utilities come in and I'm like, this is what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was
attention to detail. Well, so you started with it, but then what I was alluding to though is this literally this coax ladder where they put a physical ladder.
Oh, that ladder. Oh yeah, you had to
underneath the IO, because let me paint you guys a picture, because there's probably younger kids listening. They're like, I don't get it. They probably don't even know what 10 pair coax looms are, 20 pair coax looms are.
It's a step ladder.
Right, a step ladder. A step ladder. So they would run the coax through the step ladder because it was so heavy.
Strain relief. We had so much shit going in there. Yeah.
Because this is before really you had, TAC 24 or TAC 12s or whatever it was, before Delphi, because now we just run Delphi truck to truck where everything is, is all synced up, via the internet, really. Right. Now it's like, or back then it was all copper.
Correct. I was there through that transition in NASCAR too, to where we went from running triax around
Jesus,
1.5 mile tracks to finally getting fiber. Yeah. And the only problem with fiber is like it was different to coil. Like it's a, you know what I mean? Like like, cause it was so slippery.
Well, it's a lot lighter.
It's lighter, but it's so slippery. Like it was a tough learning curve.
It is different. Cause you could, with like a triax, you could just whip that, like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. With it's more coily, I guess you could say fiber is.
Yeah. And then
back in the day, those are early fiber days too, where they didn't really figure out like the nice tactical rubber and sheathing and all that stuff that we have now.
Well, and if you got triax back then that had bad memory, or you know what I mean, and you're trying to get this big horse. Yeah.
So man, you endured, definitely. I would say you earned your stripes.
Yeah, thank you.
You definitely earned where you are, because a lot of people, they come in the industry and they expect to be a cameraman right away, or they be a video guy right away. But you have to fucking pay your dues.
You do, but I'm happy for people that
come in.
They come in and they're good enough to where they don't, and they're not assholes. You know what I mean? Like I like Clay, Justin. I mean, like they came in quick.
They did. Those guys
and young, and
they're really talented dudes. And hopefully, I get Clay on the show sometime.
Ooh, that's a
yeah. Clay will be great. I had dinner with Clay tonight.
And Kelsey.
And maybe we'll get Jason Kelsey on the show one time too. But yeah, it was what were we saying?
Clay, like it's crazy. No, I know, but like Clay's like he's in every every social media post, because he's always in the freaking end zone for the biggest college games, the biggest NFL games. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, dude, you popped up in my feed again. Like,
I mean, what COD is saying. So Clay is hybrid steady cam operator. He runs the Movi on Saturday Night College Football, and every time someone scores a touchdown, Clay is boom.
And every photographer's snapping that, and he's in it. And then after he does Saturday Night Prime, he comes to our show and does Monday Night for the
right. So if you're watching this or you're listening to this right now, and you want a position where you're going to have some FaceTime, go the Movi steady cam route.
Yes.
Very much so.
But be in very good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, be in good shape as well. All right, so you graduate from NASCAR, or NASCAR runs itself into the ground. I don't know which happened first.
The contract ended.
Contract
ended with ESPN.
So then were you like, shit, what do I do? Were you running camera yet in NASCAR?
I transitioned. What it took for me was I was doing all the crash watches, which a lot of the camera guys didn't want to do. It wasn't necessarily making air, but in case something happened.
What's crash watch?
So crash watch is when they're out there either qualifying or practices. It could be the nationwide cars. It could have been the truck series. It could be whatever, but it's not going to air. But in case something happens, they want to have one camera up there to document.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So the camera guys didn't want to do it. I got a pay bump for doing it, but I wanted to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wanted to get experience. So I would do these things, and then one day, two camera guys got in a fist fight in the TV compound.
Oh, please tell this story.
I mean, so I'll
Don't say name. You don't have to say name.
say names. So I didn't see it. So I got back and saw like the rest of the dust up. Like it was 8 camera guys, 4 holding one guy back, 4 holding another back. Fuck you. Like, I mean, problem was it was so for the first half of the year, we did what was called the nationwide races back then. So it was only Saturday. So we got to leave on Sunday. ESPN took over at the second half of the season. We did both.
Yeah.
So it was our first cup race of the year in Indy, at the Indy 500, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And a lot of important people from ESPN they got into a fight outside of our rock.
Oh, no.
Ultimately.
Yeah. The production office.
Correct.
Operations office. Everyone's right there. Not a good place to fight.
So one guy gets fired right away. The other guy got fired the following Monday.
That's 2 camera positions opened up.
And dude, my buddy Brock Weatherby, his brother was one of the original V3s. He goes, "It's a good day to be COD," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You think you're not getting one of those spots?" And it hit me, and I'm like, "He's probably right."
Yeah, because I mean, you paid your dues. You're around. You've been practicing.
Yeah. I wasn't just up there, getting the pay bump. Like I studied, like same thing I do for like U.S. Open. Like I'd never shot tennis in my life. Yeah. And we go to the U.S. Open, and Richie's like, "Hey, I got you on camera 2. Are you okay with that?" I'm like, "What's camera 2?" And he's like, "Tight follow." I'm like,
"That's tough."
I'm like, "I've never shot tennis before, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, are you okay with it?" I'm like, "We're gonna find out together."
Yeah.
And it went fine. Like it went fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's that. The 2 guys getting in the fight was kind of like I got a call that Monday from my director. And he offered me the job, and I was like, of course I was excited, but like 2 of my buddies just lost their jobs too.
Yeah, true.
So I told him, yes, I'll obviously take it. And then I get to work the next week, and we were in Watkins Glen, and he had told some of the other camera guys, he was like, "I don't know if he wants this." He didn't sound very excited. Right. And they came to me, and I was like, I just didn't want to be clicking my heels together because 2 guys just, it's a weird way to get promoted. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, let me pause you there, because it is a weird way to get promoted, but you got promoted, and it happened because not specifically that those 2 got in a fight, because anything else could have happened to another cameraman, and you probably would have been the first one up.
Probably.
Because you put yourself in the right situations. You showed the right people that you wanted to learn, you wanted to be there, you wanted to make the next step to going from a utility to a camera operator. And that's a huge thing. Like, if you guys are listening right now, that is how you climb the ladder of broadcast. You put yourself in the right positions, and you keep being in those spots until.
Well, and it's also, it's picking a path too.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, with a lot of the V3s, it was like, not a lot.
Like, what do I want to do, kind of?
Well, or just, I can get a pay bump from going to lighting. I can get a pay, like it would change. Like instead of, they're kind of chasing the money as opposed to focusing on something. Like I knew when I got there I knew I wanted to be a camera guy.
Yeah.
And so that is what I was going after. And there was one other buddy of mine that was kind of going after it as well. But I won.
Hey, rest is history after that. All right, so you did the NASCAR thing. You became a camera operator, which is huge. Your opportunities are going, or the work that you're now getting is going from becoming a utility to a camera operator. What was that path like as you now progressed into a whole new role?
So you start, like, I just kind of realized this like recently, but like you start off like they're sending you to college basketball games. Mm-hmm. in college football games, you're doing these one-offs. You're not part of a crew.
Right.
But it's like you're fine. And I was, to be honest, I was a little scared. Like once NASCAR ended, um, I had applied for another job because like I went from a utility to a camera guy on one show. Like no other directors knew who the hell I was.
Right. And that can be a little bit scary sometimes because all your eggs per se are in one basket and you haven't really been able to reach out to other places, other networks, things like that.
Well, the hugest thing that happened, because I was freaking out. Like I was going to work for Sport Vision. I had paperwork filled out. I had done everything but sign the contract, literally. And then the last year before NASCAR ended, ESPN gave out ROE contracts.
Oh, explain that because a lot of people don't know what ROE contracts are because you're a very lucky guy.
Yes, I am. I think ESPN handed out, and I could be wrong, 250, 300, like amongst everyone, audio, video, EVS, cameras, all that.
And those are probably the only ROE contracts that have ever been given out, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of these guys that are still working for ESPN. It's because they have those ROE contracts.
And what ROE means, remote operations employee, which means we're freelancers, but we've got a contract. Like it's not as scary as just being a freelancer.
Right. I kind of call it permalancing.
Permalancer. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because you have a certain amount of days that you have to hit.
Correct. But they also were typically first on their lists. You know what I mean? Like if they see that we're off,
Right.
they were getting the first calls. And so, you meet your days, whatever. So that was huge.
Yeah.
And I think it was based off of how many days a year you worked for ESPN, and NASCAR's 9 months a year. I worked a lot of days.
A lot of days, right place, right time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, right place, right time. I mean, I could say that.
A million times, right?
For my career. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's yeah. And
So yeah, back to like, you start doing these one-offs and you're just happy to be working and traveling.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like, and you're meeting new directors and you're meeting new camera operators and this and that, and you're running new cameras. All I'd shot was NASCAR. I hadn't done a basketball game yet. I hadn't done a hockey game yet,
new cameras, new directors.
Yeah. Every show.
Yeah.
And so that was the transition from going from NASCAR, where I was terrified and was applying for another job, and then that ROE thing came up, and it was the greatest thing ever. 10 years now.
Wow. So they renewed the ROE like a year ago or something.
So we get our contracts renewed. I think it's like we get a phone call, we get a raise, and it's like it's a 2-year contract with like a 1-year option. It's not my option. It's
it's not your option. Let's make that clear.
So yeah, but it's just you're guaranteed X amount of days. You're guaranteed a raise every year. I've got benefits,
Oh, so you do get benefits too.
I decline them because my wife's a teacher and she has better ones, but like the free Disney tickets and passes and stuff are pretty cool.
Yeah, I know who to call for a Magic Kingdom.
Don't tag me.
That's awesome, man. All right, so let's talk about now, like the last 5 years or so, what you've been doing. Let's talk about our show specifically, Monday Night Countdown Studio Show, which is the studio show that happens before Monday Night Football. You are the lead camera operator.
I hate that term, but I guess yeah, I guess so.
How do you think that came to be? Was he just like, we need a guy? For real quick, Z is our director, Steve Zawolinski.
Correct. Yeah, I think you said that right. Let's make America's Edge again. I got the gig, and it's weird. It's like like I hated the term, and as soon as they found out I don't like it.
And that's why I brought it up.
I appreciate that. It's like I just felt like he's like, you need to be a leader. You need to be a leader, and I'm like, I felt like being a leader was like just like telling people to do shit that I didn't want to do. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm not lazy. I can do, like, as you know, sometimes it's faster to do things yourself than having somebody else go do them. And but he forced me into it. You know what I mean? And I don't look at it as like telling people what to do or like but it's like informing them. Like this is what's going to happen. This is where you need to be. Here's where your marks are during the show. Like you're not, I try to take.
I mean, you're kind of like the position that trickles down the information from Z, or you're the person that lets the other camera operators know so that Z doesn't have to let them know.
Or Vidge, or correct. I try to take Gordon. Yeah, I try to take. My job as a leader is to take shit off of everybody else's plate.
That's a great, dude. That is a great definition, an example of that. Yeah.
And I have gotten better at it, but it makes my job easier. And we typically hire, we typically got good people on the show, so it's they listen and yeah. But thanks for bringing up that lead.
Big lead guy. All right. So my next question is, I'm just curious, what is your favorite part of the job?
Man, that's a tough one. I think other than our crew, are you going outside the just?
No, I mean what do you what?
My favorite part of this, my favorite part about this specific show is like, I know I'm coming to see the same people every week and we've got a great crew.
Yeah.
That's because I'm not like, I feel like a lot of people go to work and they're like, fuck, I got to go to work.
Yeah. I got to go to work. I got to be around this jackass again today. And what is he going to tell me today or whatever. So yeah, with us, it's like, I mean, it's a family more or less. We spend just as much time as a crew than we do with our own family at home, sadly.
Correct. Yeah. So I think it's that the travel is nice. You know what I mean? Like it's cool going to a bunch of fucking different places. But I would say overall, it's for this specific show, it's hanging out with all of you assholes.
Very true. Good point. No, yeah, COD, you're totally right, man. Working with the crew is so important. Being around people that you want to spend time with, it just makes our job so much easier. So that's a great point. So that was that's what your favorite part of the job is. Tell me a little bit about what your favorite sport to work is. I know it's not football. Football is a bitch.
I love shooting football. On this show, obviously, I don't get to.
Yeah, right.
But for me, it's hockey because, we just got, ESPN just got hockey back. This is the third season, so I'd never shot hockey. I love it. My son plays it. It's the toughest sport I've ever shot, and still, there's like, I get better every time, but like I'm not as good as the great ones. But football and hockey, I mean,
football and hockey are your favorites.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's something always about the atmosphere of football and hockey. I mean, it's just the type of people that go to those events. They're football hockey people. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're from Europe right now, this might not comprehend the European mind, but
they fucking love hockey.
Oh, actually, they do love hockey. Yeah, you're right. Football, maybe.
I think they love football, not as much as they love hockey.
That was a bad point. I'm just trying to keep this conversation going, COD. No, all right. So you're talking hockey. You alluded to your son, who's a hockey player. Let's take a step away from broadcast for a second. Talk a little bit about what it's like to be a family man in a occupation that, takes you on the road 200 days out of the year and you don't see your family all the time and you might not be able to be at the dance recital or the championship game?
Both of those things, because my daughter's an Irish dancer. It sucks. It's tough. I missed, not my, when I say my family, like the O'Dowds, like my parents and my sister, my brother, like I missed that Christmas today for the first time in a long time, because we usually don't work this week or New Year's. But yeah, the stuff with the kids, it is tough. I still haven't missed my daughter's birthday. I've still got and she's 15, so I've caught every birthday. I've at least seen her on that day. But missing the hockey games and the cheerleading and the dance, it sucks. Thank God for smartphones that my wife can send me videos and stuff like that, or if I'm available, live stream it. But it's awful. It's awful. It's a terrible part of the fucking job.
I'll just say this, if it's a double-edged sword. When you come into broadcast, you're gonna love it. It's an amazing industry to be a part of, but it's a double-edged sword in that you're gonna miss those important family moments, and it does hurt. I will say that firsthand. It does hurt. So how do you kind of cope with those things? You said you kind of just said your wife will send you videos and things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, the way I wouldn't even say cope. I justify it because the way I justify it to myself and to my kids, and my wife she's just smart, so I don't have to justify shit to her. It's my wife teaches, so with my schedule, and I think a lot of people's sports schedule, you've got a big gap to where you can take off if you want. You know what I mean? Like your sports season is done. So for me, you know what I'm saying? So I have summers off right now, and my wife is a teacher, so she has summers off. So my entire family gets 10, 11 weeks off together.
Awesome.
So, we travel, we go camping, we would that's what, again, justifies it for me, is just having a huge amount of time with my kids in the summer is fucking great.
Yeah. Oh, that's deep, man. I feel so superficial to say this, because a lot of my justification is you're not living the life you're living right now if I'm not out here on the road kicking,
I couldn't pay, right, correct. Travel hockey ain't fucking cheap.
Oh, I can imagine.
So yeah, I mean, but it's worth it, because my as long as everybody's happy, you know what I mean? As long as it's not affecting anything at home, and it takes a strong person to marry somebody that does what we do. Totally. Yeah, if everything's good at home, it's all good.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, all right, man. Well, that kind of concludes, my interview with, about your story and everything. We've made it through the interview with you. And now we're going to play some games.
Okay.
So the first game is called Broadcast and Brews, and it's a drinking game. So it's going to be the first person to finish their garage beer wins the game. So you have a full garage beer. I'll pop this open right now.
What do we win?
You win
Just bragging rights.
a spot on the Behind the Broadcast podcast.
Fucking A, I'll take it.
Yeah, we don't have any prizes yet.
You gave me a bunch of stickers and
Selection from whatever Behind the Broadcast things you want.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
All right,
I want another throw up bar sticker is what I want.
I'm right in my bag for you.
Loves them.
I'm down to 3, so you're gonna get one of my last 3
If I win.
if you win. True.
When I win.
All right, that's enough. All right, so this is called Broadcast and Brews. First person to finish their beer wins the game. To show that your beer is completely gone, you gotta put your beer on the top of your head, and if it drops, you'll lose the game anyways.
I mean, we're
This is real.
but we're talking, Like any drops?
No, I mean like a good amount. Yeah. It's just to prove you drank your beer.
You ain't got to worry about that, buddy.
All right, buddy. All right, so I'm going to spin this wheel. Here's a little example. Come around here. I don't know if you can see it.
What is on the wheel?
On the wheel is a bunch of different categories of broadcast things. And what you have to do, you have to name 3 things that relate to the category. So right now, the category is names of companies and broadcast. You're going to try and name 3 companies, and I'm going to drink my beer as long as I can before you name those 3 companies.
Oh, we're not just chugging them.
No.
Oh.
Name those 3 companies, or once you finish those 3 things, then I stop drinking, and then we switch.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Broadcast and Brews, sponsored by Garage Beer. All right, so I'll spin the wheel first. The wheel is spinning for those listening and not watching. And it's positions that work outside of the truck.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start drinking. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Audio, video, ops.
Those are not positions.
What'd you say?
Those are not positions. Those are like categories. A2, those are positions.
A camera is a position.
All right, camera. Okay, camera operator.
Okay.
All right. Fair. All right. That was a good practice round. Good practice round. All right, next one. I'm still drinking. All right, let me spin it. It's spinning. That is not random. It's the same thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Your system's flawed.
What? It's supposed to be a random generator. I spun it and got the same thing twice in a row. All right. Moments listed on a daily schedule or a rundown. 3, 2, 1, go.
Lunch break, crew call, fax.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
The only ones I pay attention to.
All right, that's good. That's really good. All right. This is your spin now. It's spinning.
So I got a drink?
It's spinning, so you got a drink on this one.
Well, don't I get to read the question?
All right, yeah, read the question to me.
I can't tell what it says. Oh, okay. Parts of a camera buildup.
All right, how about a zoom control, a focus control, and a tripod?
You're going to fucking lose this game.
Yeah, you just pounded that thing.
Do I get a second spin or no?
No.
All right. I thought you got 2 spins.
Because the first one was fake. It was a practice. Moments. Oh, that is not random.
Or is it?
It says randomizer. All right, positions that work inside the truck. Go.
Director, producer, EVS. That fucker down.
Ah, that's quick. I'm definitely going to lose this game.
So I just click right here.
Yeah, just click. Yeah. There you go. It's spinning. You have to say it so they know, the listeners know.
So I'm drinking this time or you are?
Wait, you're drinking. Ready?
Behind the broadcast merchandise.
B2B tool, cap caddy, hoodie, B2B crew hoodie. I saw a lot of.
It was not.
Still coming out. It's still coming out. It's literally dripping.
It's a can. All right.
That was
Okay, but all right. So how about you get one more time?
okay. Fine.
Because it wasn't enough.
No, you needed to wait one more round at least before you.
I don't know, man. It's a fucking can. Well, okay.
Bro, it looks like you've been sweating. There was that much liquid that came out of
There was that much left.
Yeah, there was a lot left.
All right, so now
All right, so spin it.
you at least have to be close.
Like halfway.
Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. So I gotta answer this, right?
No. Yeah, you're answering it.
Tasks a runner might have. Filling coolers, doing coffee runs, driving talent. Are you even fucking close?
I'm like 3/4 of the way.
So no.
You dominated me on that one. Domination.
Inside joke.
Oh man! All right, that was Broadcast and Brew, sponsored by Garage Beer.
Damn it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Even though mine's...
Yeah, they're still. I know. All right. Cool. That was Broadcasting Beers. COD Domination dominated me.
Inebriation.